Welcome, everyone. I'm Robin Wynn. I'm here with Deborah Sudarsky, and we are looking at the current energies this week and how we're going to navigate them. So let's just begin first by coming back into ourselves, where all of our intuition, all of our knowing actually lives in the present moment inside of us. So turning your attention back towards yourself, feeling your sits bones on the chair that you're sitting on or your feet on the ground. And just take a moment first just to receive yourself. Just appreciate that you're a unique, once in a lifetime, once in a, I don't know what the other word would be for that. Um, you're magic. You're unique. You're here with a dharma. You're here with a path and a purpose. Sometimes we lose our way, but the way to turn on the light is within. So just if you know your human design puzzle piece, just imagine that structure of you. And we call on the high beings, we call on the angels, we call on the highest organizing principles of the universe to be with us today, to guide our speech, that whatever we say may be heard and may it be for the benefit of all beings. And with that, let's begin with you, Deborah.
Um, so I was just sharing with Robin that this was a really dramatic week for me. A lot of things happened. And it was 2 weeks ago that we did our last reading together. And I thought about it often because one of the things we talked about was decisions and things being illuminated. And so I hope for anybody listening that these are powerful for you. But I'm always amazed that I go back and I listen to our recording again and I get different kinds of information. And I thought about a lot of the things that we talked about in our last reading. And one of the things that happened is I ended up having to uh, let my animal companion, Miss Lola, cross the Rainbow Bridge. And it was a difficult decision. It was a decision. Um, we decided it was the more humane thing to do. Things escalated and happened very quickly and unexpectedly. So it's the shock. We didn't anticipate that this was going to happen. And I thought about, while I was waiting in the ER, I thought about our reading a lot. And so I think that these readings have indicated a lot of things that happen. So I just wanted to share that. And because of all the drama going on in my life, sometimes when I'm not able to sit and just be receptive to messages that normally I have a quiet sort of a place to do that, I do use tools. I talk about the tools in my books because we have access to other ways of gathering information. And so for me, one of the things that I really love is I do love the Oracle cards, and I'm using a new set of cards. And I really happen to love her cards, Colette Baron Reed, and this is the Enchanted Map Oracle cards. And so I picked a card today because I just wasn't really 100% feeling confident about the messages I was getting. So I want to share it because it's so beautiful. And the card is called Moonlight.
Wow, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a beautiful card. And the real message about this card is about trusting our intuition and, you know, understanding that there's a world out there, but the world that we perceive, the world that we're feeling, the world that we're intuiting there's validity with that. That's the information that we need to rely upon. And so when we have moments, whatever's coming up this next week, understanding that we're getting the information, if we can be receptive to that information, we're getting the information that we need. And we don't have to look at the drama that's going on in the world, but to trust our intuitive, the feelings that we have, and our inner knowing. And that's where we get the information to know how to proceed. And I feel like this card just says it so well. Just to share it again.
So beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, I'm so sorry about Lola. We always saw her on the couch behind you, and I mean, what a being, right? What an incredible being. And if it's okay for me to share, you did say that she told you she's coming back.
Oh yes, she's coming back.
She's
I
coming.
I I I was comforted. She woke me up in the middle of the night and reminded me that she's coming back, and that's sort of eased the physical pain, because when you lose people, you miss that contact that you have with them. But we just go to spirit. It's really important to remember that we're not you know, we haven't come to an end. We're just transforming our experience in our physical state.
So you've had a tough, it's been tough, right? The waters have been tough. And when you don't have easy access to your guides, you have ways, you have tools to tap in that you can go to, like the cards. So just a reminder to everyone, when the waters get rough, there are, what are your tools? What are your ways of connecting back into yourself and into your knowing and into your ground? Really, the ground of the internal light is how one way I might talk about it.
Also, if anybody's interested in sharing, I would love to hear other tools that people use when they're feeling like their intuition needs a little boost, needs a little bit of um, extra, because maybe you don't trust what's coming in.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Well, so now a good time for me to shift to human design?
Love it. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to share the chart for today, which is so May 14th through the 20th, and I'll talk about what happens later in the week in a moment. So this week, so both of these, so the sun is in gate 8, it's called contribution, or in the quantum human design world, it's called fulfillment. And the earth is in gate 14, which is called power skills or creation in quantum human design. So both of these channels are in the individual circuitry. So it's all about knowing, like tapping into your knowing, tapping into what you know to be true. Now, they're individual, but it's a funny week. It's kind of a beautiful week in a way, in that we're here to support others. It's like the individuality is not for ourselves. Like, we're here to create resources, generate resources, whether they're emotional resources or physical resources, whatever the resources would be. We're here to generate resources for others. This is one of the money lines in human design, actually. And yeah, so there's the potential to support people. If you're a coach or a therapist or a, a, a mom or dad or a wife or husband or a friend, there's an opportunity this week to really be of support, be of service, really, in some way. And in that support, you're actually supporting someone to shine, someone to come in to who they are. This is coming off the throat center, and it's all about speaking your self-expression. And so much about the throat is about manifestation. So we're really talking about making your creative contribution. So this week, open yourself to supporting people in ways maybe you don't normally. If you have that in your chart, I have a couple of friends who have this or born this week. They are amazing supports in my life. They're like remarkable. So I feel it's a gift. It's a gift to be born in this week. That's just my feeling. Now, I don't have a chart for the following week, but let me just explain what that is. So it's let's see, Friday through Wednesday roughly, and we'll talk about it more next week again. The Sun is in gate 20, again coming off the throat, and again individual, and the Earth is in gate 34. So come Friday, expect to get busy. This is the most powerful gate in the chart, and it's the busiest. It's the sacral energy saying, let's go, let's do, let's do. The trick is to be clear about what you're doing and not get distracted by just feeling like you have to do a ton of things. And it's moving to the throat. So what happens when this 34 goes to the 20 is in the now, and it's about collaboration. When the 34 goes to the 20, the capacity to manifest is quick. It's almost like you don't even say something and then it's manifested. The energy moves so quickly for what you want to do to manifesting. So be wise, starting Friday, be wise about where you're putting your focus and your energy and calling into being. Okay, let me close that. Share. Any thoughts you have there, Deborah?
Yeah, I want to say something about intuition. Sometimes the intuition comes as a tingling or a repetitive number or a sign from the universe. And it, it, it comes for you in a way that suddenly you're paying attention. So there are signs. You don't have to force, what's my intuition? It's more a receptive feeling of, I think I should call so and so, or thinking about something and learning how to sort of trust those messages. And I feel like combined with what your message was about this week, that there's a lot of really powerful message about intuition and collaboration, support, being there for others in different ways, and that it all is sort of a connected message.
Yeah, the thing about being there for others, you don't leave yourself to do it. You stay in your individual knowing as you support others. It's not that abandoning yourself for the other. So, and I think intuition is, you can't have intuition if you're not in yourself, right?
Yeah, I feel like the old school being there for others meant sort of, you just sort of get out of yourself and just support them. And now we're understanding that by really being true to your own connection, your own heart, first of all, you have greater access to helping someone because you have your own set of resources, but also you're creating the space for somebody to find their own special gifts. And creating that space is really what it's all about, helping others by elevating your energy, reflecting that so that somebody else can then find their own true connection. And
Exactly.
it
Yeah.
really benefits everybody.
Yeah. You're supporting them in who they are, right? Not who you want them to be or what you need them to be as a function for you or would make you look good or something like that, right?
Especially that, yeah.
Yeah. Just one other thing I want to mention, because I got some feedback from last week that in my blog post that people were, and it was the 4323, the gate 4323 from the ajna to the throat, from the ajna to the throat, and people were saying, a couple people said they were getting headaches. And what I realized, what I haven't been talking about is that like this week, the energy is there for to support people, but the energy is also there. The opposite energy could be there. It's like it's on a polarity. How are you going to interact with this energy? Are you going to feel helpless in supporting people? That could happen. Or are you going to feel empowered in helping people, supporting people? finding resources for people. So that's the theme. So if you felt a headache last week, there was energy running in your system that might not usually be there. And perhaps you didn't know how to navigate it or work with it. There might have been insights trying to come through, or there might have been insights that you were blocking, or things you didn't want to say about your insights, right? It was about speaking your insights. You're nodding your head. This is resonating for you, Deborah.
Yeah, it's resonating. And also, I think just to reiterate, when you're connected to source, ultimately that's our PowerPoint.
Yeah.
And you and I were talking about that right before I got on the call, about that present day energy and finding through the present, finding that connection. That's how we're able to transform all of that.
One thing I really like is kind of bring it down to a very pragmatic, and you often do this, a pragmatic, like, okay, so how does this show up in my life, for example, right? Like this week, I'm looking at a leadership project. I'm looking at organizing and kind of like I wrote my books, I've been called to write, to create a leadership project. And so this week, I'm looking at how am I here to support other people? What is that, right? And when we bring in intuition or spirit, it's like I'm very clear this weekend. Oh, it's awakened activity that I'm here to bring. I'm here to step into awakened activity, not just to give. I don't know how to articulate this. Just bear with me for a second. Not just to give people things, but really to awaken their own awakening or their own light. That's my best shot right now. I'll keep you posted as I get more words for it, but that's what I'm up to.
Well, yeah, by creating the space for that to happen. And that is the leadership, creating space for others to find their way. That is the ultimate leadership. Not
Beautiful.
telling people what to do or getting up there with a megaphone. It's creating space. And the guides are saying to me right now, the energies really are shifting. They're shifting fast and furiously. And so we can't really rely on those old patterns. They're not working. There's nothing to support them. And so many of the new patterns that are coming for us are coming forth from our guided intuition and learning how to trust that. So even if you don't see it out there, maybe you're the one that's bringing it forth. That's your journey, is bringing something new, because old ways, old paradigms, they're falling apart for good reason. We have more powerful tools in store.
It's so funny you say that. I just told Yarrow this morning. She asked how I was. I said I'm a little off balance. It's like I'm growing. It's like a teenager. I'm growing, and I'm not at the new place yet. I'm not in the new paradigm yet. So I'm just kind of awkward, and I stepped on something and broke it, and I really feel like a puppy with big paws. Like the shifts are happening, and I'm not aligned with them fully yet, but I'm in the process.
Yeah, massive shifting. And by that connection, it doesn't have to be, big dramatic moves forward, but taking that time, whether it's through your meditation or walking in nature, of aligning to that connection to the divine and staying in with that stillness, that's where we create the opportunity for change. So it doesn't have to be, something huge. Sometimes it's just making that connection that allows the shifting to happen. And in doing that shifting, there's a realignment.
As you say that, I start to feel it happening, and I'm wondering if we could just take a moment right now
Mm-hmm.
and align with that shift together when two or more are gathered, right? And invite everybody who's listening now, either in real time or on the replay, to take a moment and allow yourself to align with spirit. The source.
It's like this very powerful light sort of downloading for all of us. And I can feel the guides that we've called upon before we got started today, really magnifying that energy so that it's palpable for everybody.
So there's a practice in Tibetan Buddhism where the light from the deities comes into your heart and then you send it out to the universe. And this is in perfect alignment with this week's human design, like to receive this alignment, to receive the light, to receive the blessings, and then in turn that light outwards and shower the people. Take a moment and just shower the people you love with love and care and light and the yes of who they are on the planet as they are.
Really powerful.
Yeah. So let's just offer whatever we've received today. Anything else? You good, Deborah?
I just want to say, having going through the drama in my own life, that when you stay connected, you kind of can handle, even if it's overwhelming, you can kind of handle the stuff coming your way with clarity when you're grounded, you have your 2 feet on the ground, you're aligned with spirit, and you have that opportunity to see what you need to do in those moments. And I'm assuming for myself, there'll be moments to process the emotion, but in this time where things are happening so quickly, you want to have that moment of connection so that you're grounded. It's like a warrior. You can see things as they're coming at you, and best be receptive about how to deal with things.
So just inviting everyone then to take this week and with an intention of tapping in, taking those moments to connect to source, to connect to that knowing that's bigger than your ego, to the truth of you, really, right? So let's just give thanks and offer whatever your takeaway is today, whatever you've learned, whatever you've received, offer it for the benefit of all beings. And deep gratitude to you, Deborah, for your path and your wisdom and your connection to Source that you bring so generously here.
And to you, Robin, for all of the same things and your insight about human design and how it sheds light for all of us looking for guidance.
Thank you. All right then. Sending love to you all.